yourselves. Welcome to morning meeting. Today is December 11th, 2020. It's me, Mr. Heaton. I'm here with Ms. Handziuk.
Hi.
Welcome to morning meeting. Today, we're going to talk about COVID vaccines.
Yes,
So, finally, you may have heard that some COVID vaccines are in the process of being approved. In fact, by the time you watch this, the FDA will have already met about the Pfizer vaccine and decided, or at least moved toward approving it, we think. But we're going to take some time to understand some of the vaccine facts because there's a lot of misinformation out there right now. And we're going to deal with some science today. For instance, we're going to figure out, is Bill Gates using the COVID vaccine to implant us with microchips so that he can track us and stop us from buying iPhones?
That's just, where did you hear that? Because that would take a lot of different people in like all over the world who are working on this to like be cool with this plan with Bill Gates. There's just no way that that could be happening.
Well, see, that's good to know. These are the things that we need to find out today with a science expert like yourself, Ms. Handziuk. So why don't you give us your resume? Why are you qualified to tell us Bill Gates isn't trying to take over our brains?
Well, while I am not a doctor, I do have some degrees in science. I went to Georgia Tech and got a Bachelor of Science in Biology. That is my specialty. And I also have a master's degree in environmental toxicology. And I used to work in environmental risk assessment and think about like the dangers to humans from all kinds of different things. So I've got some experience with what's going on here.
Yes, and I know what some of those words mean.
Great.
So I think both of us are probably in a good place to lead this morning meeting.
Yeah.
All right, start us off, Ms. Handziuk. There are currently two vaccines that are moving pretty quickly toward being approved. So can you tell us about both of them?
Yes, they're very similar. So there's two companies, Pfizer and Moderna, that are both working on a very similar vaccine. And the vaccines are based on what's called messenger RNA, which is, if you've heard of DNA before, messenger RNA is what is like a small section of similar to DNA that can send a message around a cell to make proteins. So this small bit of mRNA actually is the code for a protein that is in the COVID virus. So it isn't an entire virus, it just makes one protein from the virus. And when your body gets the code and starts making that protein, your body is going to turn on its immune response to start fighting that. And it won't give you a strong response like having the virus, because it isn't the full virus, but it can build up the immunity in your body. So that's the way that this particular vaccine works. And this is a different kind of vaccine than like the flu vaccine. The big difference between the two is that the Pfizer one needs to be kept really, really cold, like as cold as Antarctica or colder. The Moderna vaccine doesn't need quite as much refrigeration. But the Pfizer vaccine is closer to being approved right now, and it's actually already been approved in the UK and is being given to like hospital workers there. So there's lots of people who are already starting to take the Pfizer vaccine.
Awesome. So that's how these vaccines work. Let's talk a little bit about, do they actually work? Are they effective? So you might have seen this headline that the Pfizer, and now we also know the Moderna vaccine, they're both 95% effective. And so you might look at that and think, okay, so if I get this vaccine, there's a 95% chance I don't get COVID and a 5% chance I do, but that's not actually what that means. So here's what they did for both these vaccines, but I'm going to talk about the Pfizer one. They got 43,661 people into this study. Half of those people got the vaccine and half got a placebo, which means they just got a shot of like saline solution. There's nothing actually in the shot, but they thought they got something. And then you sit around and you wait for 170 people to develop the symptoms and then test positive for COVID. 170 people is like the percentage that the government said, in order for us to know this is effective, like we need to see this many cases. So for the Pfizer vaccine, of those 170 people who got sick, 162 of those got the placebo and 8 got the vaccine. And so the effectiveness is only 8 people out of 170 got the disease after getting the vaccine, and that's a 5% effectiveness rate. But another way to think about this is, of the 21,000 500 and whatever, people who got the vaccine, only 8 got sick. That doesn't mean all of them were exposed, but that does suggest that, like, if you get this vaccine, there's a pretty good chance you're not going to get COVID. Anything to add, Ms. Handziuk?
That sounds good. The one big thing that I know that they don't know right now is if you get the vaccine and you are exposed to COVID, it's possible that you still pass it on to somebody else. That's like one of the big unknowns, but we're going forward with what we've got because it does seem to at least be preventing people from getting COVID.
So, Ms. Handziuk, when are things going to be back to normal?
So it's going to take a while. There's only so many vaccines. We don't have enough for everybody right now. They're prioritizing, obviously, healthcare workers, the people who need to be taking care of us when we do get sick. And those people should be the Pfizer vaccine probably before 2021 starts. But it's going to take many months into 2021 before enough people will have had this vaccine to actually be able to like resume a pretty normal life. But the more people who get it, each step of the way, we're going to get better and better.
So to close this out, Dr. Fauci said, we may actually have enough herd immunity protecting our society that as we get to the end of 2021, we could approach very much some degree of normality that is close to where we were before. And so this isn't going to be like you snap your fingers and everything's back to normal. It's going to be a long process of getting there. But a year from now, we should be back to a pretty normal place. So there's hope, friends. We just got to keep doing what we're doing. Keep wearing your mask, keep washing your hands, stay safe, stay distant, and we're going to get through this. Thanks, Wolves. We love you. Have a great day.
Bye, all.